Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. As you can hear, I am ill. I have lost my voice once again. Thank you for putting up with it. I don't know. I just thought maybe today my voice is a little bit better. It's been pretty bad the last 2 or 3 days. So here we are. Now, when you click on this reading, it is activated. I am recording this on, and let me check the date for sure. I think it's it is the 11th. Okay, so it is November 11th, 2025, and this will be coming out on November 12th, 2025, and I just like to put the date in there now so you know when it was recorded. Okay. All right, so we begin with the Sun card, right? This beautiful solar energy has been bombarding us lately. We've had so many solar flares, solar storms, some going out away from us, thankfully. But some of them have been headed towards Earth, and it has been affecting a lot of things, including seeing the northern lights, which I am lucky I get to see them here up in the northern Midwest. But you know, a lot of people have been reporting disturbed sleep, feeling anxious. Well, and really just I'm seeing, anecdotally, a lot of people having troubles within their families, relationships, domestic lives. Why? Why is the Sun kind of related to some disharmony? Well, because when the Sun energy is strong, we see everything for what it is. We see everything for what it is. And, usually I would say that's a pretty good deal, right? We're seeing the beauty in the world. We're seeing, just how lucky we are. It really amplifies our gratitude. But then there are other times when we start to see how did I end up in this? What series of decisions did I make that led me to this place? You know what I mean? And let's just face it, collectively, I think most of us are kind of going through this kind of feeling. Not just in our relationships, not in our personal lives, collectively, in the greater world. Look at the state of things. Now, I, for one, am very hopeful, where a lot of people, I think, are into this very doomy, and there are times I'm just I don't know what's going on. This seems insane. Everything seems insane. But then I remember, we survive. We do what we must. We've done so much with so little for so long. We can do anything with nothing now. We are truly magicians, aren't we? So fear not. The crumbling of the old, it gives us what we need to build new. All right, let's get started. And so I want to say thank you for clicking on the reading. If you want to subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Let's see what these tea leaves are going to say. So we have the number, it looks like, I'm going to say it's the 103. 103. Okay. Also looks like a person holding a hammer. Okay, here's the head, here's the body of the person, the leg, here is the hammer that they're holding. Now, we also have a bird. It looks like maybe an ostrich. You can see the body and then the long neck and the head. And over here, this one kind of looks like a toucan or some kind of bird with a long beak, a tropical bird, the body, and then the tail. Okay, so below we also have, it looks like a mound with a flower growing, and above it seems that we have a tree, and we have another person over here, right here, who seems to be moving this way. So this one, it looks like it says something here, but then TOO, two, also like as well, too, me too. So what's going on? I feel like this choice of kind of burying your head in the sand, or being the one that goes out there with the message and shouts it from the rooftops. That's what I feel like these two are about. We have that ostrich, we have that tropical bird, and we also have the guy with the hammer. We have the guy that's kind of like moving up this way, or the person, I shouldn't say guy, maybe is not a guy at all. It might be a gal, it might be something else, I don't know. But there is a sense of wanting to build something. We have that tree up here, which is all about putting down roots. And I feel like you've been torn. You've been torn between building this thing, this dream that you've had. And I think it is something that has taken you maybe away from where you grew up or your family. You've had to go out in the world and get an education and make some money. And I feel that you are very drawn to the idea of continuing to do this and continuing to establish your empire. But it is not aligned with where you come from. Probably, I imagine, because of location, more so than anything else. But on the other hand, I feel that there is this kind of calling for you to go back, and in some way, and I don't know what happened in your youth, or maybe it's the place that you grew up, but there's something that makes you feel like you have something to share with the world. Like you've been through something. You want to advocate. You want to educate. You want to mentor. You want to help change this thing. Now, I don't know what it is. It could be that you come from a town that's very small, maybe, and maybe there needs to be, in your opinion anyways, in your mind, maybe some social evolution happening there, some growth, maybe some openness, more understanding, something like this. And it does. It feels like it's something very core to the human experience. It feels like something that we can all understand, that we've all seen, we've all experienced, and it is fundamental. This isn't something, this is not something superficial, okay? You really do, you feel impassioned. At the same time, all of that energy, you're thinking, I could put this into, continuing to build my business, my career, my life, or there's also this opportunity. Maybe it is. You go home to take care of your mom, your dad. You buy a house. You get involved. You join the school board. You join the, city council. You get started. You start, making a little space for yourself, a little name for yourself. Something like this. I don't know which is right. I don't like being involved with things too much, so I probably would just keep working on my business if it were me. But also, you know what? We all have those moments in our life, or at least some of us do, where we know we're being called to service. This is our opportunity. So I don't know which way you will go, but I know that there is a decision to be made here. And it might be just something that you are pondering. It might be something that you are really considering moving on. That remains to be seen. If you want to tell me, if you want to share it, put it in the comments because I'd like to know. I'd like to know what you're going to do here. Now, I think that you have somebody in your life. Maybe this is a love interest. We have the horse and the carriage here. So I feel like and we have two people right here. Okay, so and it's kind of a heart. It is forming. Down here we have a person who is, I think, dancing. It looks like the head, the body, the legs. We have an instrument of some kind here, an instrument here. And over here we have a person who is carrying a key. Okay, so, and a bird up here. It looks like a hawk, maybe. So to me, it all feels like there is this love, there is this sense of wanting to unify, to come together, maybe move in together, maybe, really take that leap of faith and try again. I don't think this is your first serious relationship. But at the same time, I feel like there is at least kind of the whispers of somebody who might be kind of controlling, but not like in a way where it's like, you're not allowed to do that type of thing. Something that's maybe a little more insidious, right? Where it's like, oh, they don't really like to go dancing. Although you love dancing, you love going out at night, you love doing your thing, you love expressing yourself. Now this person, they're lovely, they're wonderful, they're encouraging, yeah, go out, go do it. But over time, right, as you've been together for months and maybe even a year or maybe even more, and they stop wanting to go out, they stop, they stop saying anything when you say, oh, well, it's Thursday, I'm going to go to the club with my friends or whatever. And it starts to feel almost kind of like it's frowned upon, right? And slowly but surely you're going less and you're doing less and you're seeing these friends less. And it isn't like this immediate, you're not allowed to do. It's like a slow grinding down of your will. And that can be so much more difficult to navigate your way out of that kind of dynamic. Because we begin to feel like we're the ones making the choice. Which we are, right? Yes. We are. You're making the choice. But you've had this energy, this oppressive energy that's getting more and more oppressive as time goes along. And I think this is one of the big reasons that, when you're not in a relationship, I think we have the tendency, and this is probably to help us get back into relationships, it's like a evolutionary thing. You start to forget what it feels like. To have to think as a pair or to think in a way that I don't want to upset them or I don't want to do something that, throws everything into chaos or makes life harder or, more difficult or this or that or it's, and it changes you. It changes you. It changes the things that you do. It changes the way that you decision make. And I feel like a lot of us, we forget this when we're not with somebody. When we're with somebody, oh my gosh, do you remember? And you say, if I ever get divorced, if this ever falls apart, I'm done, right? This is it. None life for me. You can hear me saying it, right? This is me. This is how I feel myself. Oops. Ooh, I just dropped 4 things. My goodness. You can tell I'm I'm getting clumsy over here. But then you're single, right? And you forget that you're totally out on relationships. And so, I think for you, maybe you're at a place where you are beginning to remember possibly why it's hard to be with somebody and to get to know them and kind of grow your lives together. All right, there we go. And maybe that is something that you're questioning. Like, am I doing the right thing here? Am I honoring myself here? And I think, probably you're on the cusp of making a decision that is a little more serious. And that could be like marriage, moving in, having kids, introducing them to the family, that kind of thing. I'm just going to be real with you. I see you going forward with this person. I saw the wagon or the kind of chariot energy right here. So that tells me that you are making an intentional move. Okay, you are. And you also have the key up here, which tells me that, I feel that through the self-work that you've been doing, you've become a lot more discerning. You still fall into places where you don't trust yourself because, let's face it, you've made some bad decisions, especially within your relationships. People you've dated, people you've spent time with, people you've, given more than one chance or whatever. Okay, listen, we all make mistakes. I'm not trying to, point these things out in a way that is, judgmental. It's not. It is not. I'm the last person to judge somebody who's dated some questionable people. I won't drag out my long history here, but I'll tell you, there have been a few times where you step back and you think, Lenor, what the heck are you doing? What's going on here, girl? So no judgment from me. But I see you making this leap of faith and interrupting your normal cycle of, I get into it, it's good for a while, and then I start finding reasons. Now, you're a Scorpio, so you don't usually leave the relationship. You're not one to break it off. I mean, yeah, you have, of course, but for the most part, you'll stick around. You want to see, how's this thing going to work out, right? Well, I can make it work. This is going to happen. This is going to, and you keep telling yourself, and you stick with it until the wheels fall off sometimes, for better or worse, right? And so I see you really, leaning into this, but this time, instead of getting just totally turned off in the situation, yet staying, it's like you've exited mentally, spiritually, emotionally, but you're still there. You're still there. This time, instead of completely just disassociating, yet staying, I see you really trying to do some work when these problems start to rise up, which they will. Any relationship, anytime you move in with somebody, anytime you're starting a family or mixing a family or whatever, there's going to be freaking problems, dude. And let me just say, can I just rant for a second? I rant all the time, but let me just say, can we start teaching our kids that sometimes you're going to have to be in discomfort, even with people? Not to say you put up with abuse, not to say you don't have boundaries, but you don't just give up. I don't care if you're just dating or you've been together for a couple years or you've been married for whatever, 10 years, you're checked out. We don't just give up. So many people in this world just give up all the time. And I'm saying this as a person that loves to give up. Nobody loves quitting a job more than I do. Nobody loves saying, I don't know how to do this, I'll do it tomorrow, more than I do. But you know what sets people aside in this world that we live in now? If you'll just get up and show up and do the thing, you don't even have to do it well. You're already miles ahead. This is true in relationships as well. You find something out you don't like about somebody. You find something out that challenges your beliefs or your understandings of yourself and what you are capable of handling. Do the work. I'm not saying stay with them. Maybe it is something that's, unforgivable. Maybe it is something you can't get with. But do the work before you get up out of there. Because this is where it is supposed to happen. Our life is our laboratory. Our relationships are our ordeals, our allegories, our comedies, our tragedies. So if you do anything, if you have kids, if you have grandkids, if you're around kids, taking care of them, teaching them, educating them in any way, please, for the love of God, teach them how to stay in the thing and finish. Not just to give up all the time. It's okay to give up. But my goodness, not every freaking time. I see it in my own daughter. We have to talk about this constantly. Can't get the sock on right. Give up. No, you have to have a sock on your foot to put your foot in the boot. So anyhow, let's see. Where are we going to go here? We have a skull. You can see the eye holes, the nose hole, and the frame here. We also have the letters TC. Now, we have that death energy. So there is an ending coming. There's something ending. We'll see if it tells us over here. So we have a person. I'm seeing like a carport. If you live in an area that, like, I live in the upper Midwest, so there's a lot of, now not every like apartment complex or, place like that has they usually have underground parking underneath the buildings because it's so cold here during the winter, and it's heated, so you drive underneath the building like a car parking lot, right? Well, I know, like, I grew up in California. I don't live there now, but I grew up in Northern California, and there were a lot of places that just had carports. That's like the like an apartment complex that has the parking lot, and then it has those parking spots that are covered by like a little, awning or whatever. So for some reason, it seems like, and we have the number 16, it seems like you've had a situation in a parking lot, in a car park of some kind, and I keep seeing the carports. So it feels to me like this is an older thing, but it feels like it's something that really scared you. We have the number 1616 or 516, 516. Question mark. I feel like I know, parking lots and bathrooms, especially if you're a woman, right? These are some of these like transient liminal places that we find ourselves in are the most dangerous. And we know that, right? You know that. I don't think it's like that though, although there feels like there's a lot of emotionality around it. I'm wondering if there was like an argument around the car in the parking lot. I just feel like there's like crying, arguing. My hand is itching now, so we must be getting close. I'm going to ask the oracle. Let me see. Give us like 3. We're going to do 3 cards. Will you give us some clarity on this car port? It doesn't feel good. Assertion. Okay. Discrimination. So I'm wondering if this is resourcefulness. Okay, so I'm wondering if this is like a argument with a neighbor, like over a parking spot. You want harmony, obviously. Loss. We had that death energy too, and control. Okay, so I feel like something has happened here where you're at odds with somebody over some mundane thing. I think it has to do with parking. Maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's somebody in the household. You seek harmony. You're willing to compromise. I think the other person, maybe not, but I think that they're probably going through some kind of loss. Okay, something's going on in their life. Like they just got divorced, like a parent passed away, something core to their lives. I think that a lot of this has to do with them seeking some kind of control in their life. And so I think, as annoying as this thing might be, I think that if you come from a place of empathy and kind of just allowing for them to kind of like have their way a little bit, it ultimately will play out in your favor. And I always try to shuffle these and they end up all crazy. So I'm just gonna, there we go. All right. So anyhow, Scorpio, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap this up. I'm going to do our lucky numbers and then I'm going to say goodbye. All right, number 30. 30 is our first lucky number. This one. 71. 71. So we had 30, 71, and 76. And 76. All right. Well, Scorpio, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. We'll talk soon. Please take care of yourself. If you want to support the channel in any way, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. And with that, again, I'll say I love you. Good night.